Hey, what's going on people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video I'll be showing you 10 must-have legendary weapons at level 60. Since the level cap has been raised, we need to farm for our guns again, and these are 10 of the best weapons in the game that you should be farming for first. I'll be letting you know what they do, who drops them, and how you can get them dealing their maximum damage so you can own the show on Mayhem 10. And do let me know of any weapons you think I've missed out, and we might see a part 2. These legendaries are picked from all corners of the game, so DLC or no DLC, you can be confident there's a great gun here for you. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, or hey, maybe even subscribe. It helps to keep the videos coming. And let's crack into it. In no particular order, one legendary gun that you should have at level 60 is the Recursion, a melee 1 shotgun that can come in any element. It has an increased chance to drop from General Traunt, the brother of Captain Traunt, who you can find in this area of Desolation's Edge in Necro. Because it's a melee 1 gun, the Recursion comes with 2 elements that you can change between, and must be charged before firing. Once charged, it fires a single powerful disc, and you can also get yourself a ×2 variant. When up against a single target, you may think the Recursion is bad, but it comes well into its own against multiple enemies due to its ricochet effect, allowing it to deal with crowds unlike anything else in the game. When your projectiles hit your target, they will ricochet towards someone else, and then again dealing increased damage each time they ricochet. What's also interesting is that the projectiles will duplicate depending on the amount of elements tied to your current shot. So the more elements you infuse into each shot, the more damage you'll deal, and that damage gets insane real quick. You can see an example of that against Captain Traunt, and this gun just blitzes, dealing huge chunks of damage and turning him into dust in a matter of seconds. Next up is the Flipper, a new SMG introduced as part of DLC 3, manufactured by Melee 1 and can come in every element. It has an increased chance to drop from Minosaur, a weird half man half creature that you fight around in this area of Bloodsun Canyon. The Flipper is a powerful SMG that becomes increasingly more powerful the longer you hold down the trigger. That's because of its unique firing pattern that causes more projectiles to be added to each shot as you fire without any extra cost to ammo. It starts at 1, peaks at 9, and when those 9 bullets are screaming into your opponent, the Flipper does some serious work. Because of that unique pattern, a larger magazine will allow you to fire the 9 projectiles for longer, so any magazine boosting artifact or mod will go well with it. The damage it deals is also counted as splash damage, which is something modes can leverage. Overall, it's an all-round great gun and can tear through bosses and enemies alike. To maintain high damage, you want to have that trigger down as long as you can to ensure you're at its maximum damage cap for as long as possible. Moving on now to the Monarch, a flat-off assault rifle that can come in any element including non-elemental, and can only be dropped by Kilovolt, who you can find here in Electricity if you're on Mayhem 6 or above. The Monarch has a good magazine size, deals high damage, and fires a high number of pellets at a rapid pace. It's the Dictator and Shredder Fire combined, taking the raw damage of the Dictator and the sheer fire rate of the Shredder Fire. Safe to say that's a lethal combination, and it is. It essentially has 2 modes, one with the bipod in and one with it out. With it in, you'll be a lot more mobile and still deal good damage, but with it out, your damage will be doubled at the cost of restricted movement. It's up to you how you want to use it, but I like to get close with it in and pull it out when I feel like ending all existence. Switching between them depending on the situation is how you get the most out of the Monarch, but enemies will crumble beneath you just at the sheer sight of it. It really is a fantastic assault rifle, and with it you can wield destruction in its every sense. Next up is the Lob, which since its buff remains a fantastic weapon. It has an increased chance to drop from Graveward, who you fight in the Floating Tomb on Eden 6. It can come in any element and fires a single large elemental orb. Not only does each orb do massive damage, but they also pass through enemies, allowing it to deal that same massive damage against multiple foes. They are slow moving, which limits its viability in some situations, say in certain boss fights, or if your enemy's too far away, or maybe they're flying, then it does, but that's the main reason the lob deals the damage it does. The orbs don't act like a regular bullet, instead they drain your target's health while in close proximity. You can see that here against the dummy in Sanctuary, and you'll notice the orb dealing separate ticks of damage as it moves by and eventually explodes. They did alter it not too long ago, changing its firing pattern from a 3-round burst to single shot, but the single shot gives you more control, and with its healthy magazine size, you can keep pelting your enemies with orbs until they stop shooting back. Now to the Root, another DLC 3 exclusive weapon, this time a sniper rifle, that has an increased chance to drop from Lani Dixon, a target of one of the most wanted challenges you can find here in Ashfall Peaks. To get there quickly from the spawn point, rather than running all the way round, you can jump up on here and bulk jump your way over to the sledge. You'll need to increase your speed to do that, but it will definitely save you farming time, and shout out to Killer6 for that tip. The Root can come in any element, and because it's a melee one gun, it comes with 2 of them that you can change between, and it also must be charged before firing. Every shot of the Root is pure carnage, causing a lightning storm to erupt from the point of impact, infused with whichever element it's set to. It deals extreme amounts of damage, and it has no concern for you or your enemy's well-being. Each shot is fired in a 2-round burst and spawns a number of projectiles that zigzag from the epicenter, triggering a primary and secondary explosion, both of which hit extremely hard. When mobbing, this gun is deadly and is great value for ammo too. It typically downs multiple enemies in just one shot, and it annihilates Captain Traunt. Overall, it's a great sniper rifle, easily the best and most powerful in the game, and I highly recommend you to grab one if you can. Another legendary weapon you should farm for at level 60 is the Anarchy, a TDO shotgun that can come in any element including non-elemental, and can be farmed for the quickest by targeting Tom and Zam, who you fight in this area of Heart's Desire. The Anarchy gets exponentially more powerful the more people you kill or the more you empty the mag. That's because, like Gage's Anarchy skill from Borderlands 2, you can stack from doing those 2 things. It caps at 10, and at max stacks it'll be over 1000% more powerful than when it started out. You can see that in action against the dummy in Sanctuary, and if you want to avoid emptying the mag each time to stack up, you can just punch the air to cancel the reload, and that will count as stacking up. At max stacks it's a beast, but its accuracy does take a hit too, although you'll hardly notice it. It can tear through anything on Mayhem 10, and if you want the most powerful variant, look out for a x18 or x20 version. They'll consume an extra ammo per shot, but you'll empty the mag more often and therefore stack up faster. Its one downside is the reload effect, which can easily down you depending on what one it spawns with, but whichever Anarchy you have, there's a lot of potential there for dealing high damage. Up next we have the Lightshow, a new pistol added as part of DLC 3. It's manufactured by Dahl, can come in any element, and has an increased chance to drop from Lassodactyl, a flying enemy who you fight in this area of the map, in the Obsidian Forest. There's nothing not to love about the Lightshow. I mean, it looks pretty, fires quickly, deals heavy damage, and has a decent magazine size. It typically fires 4 pellets, but you can even get a x8 variant, and the pellets will even rotate as you fire. Because of the large number of them, the Lightshow deals consistently high damage, and although they look to be quite spread out, it is also accurate too. It can take on anyone with ease, and it can always be counted on to quickly kill that one enemy that's looking at you funny, like Captain Traunt. By coming in every element, it will always have a place in any combat situation, and it's a great pistol, pure and simple. Rolling in now is the Sandhawk, a Dahl sniper rifle that can come in every element and has an increased chance to drop from Katagawa Jr., a typically annoying fight which you encounter at the top of the skyscraper at this point of the map in Atlas HQ. The Sandhawk fires 7 pellets in a hawk-like pattern and consumes 3 ammo per shot. It was nerfed recently, meaning it's not as good as it once was, but it's still a powerful sniper rifle nonetheless. It should really be an SMG considering the rate at which it fires when you get it in fully auto, but there's no doubt it deals a sniper rifle's worth of damage. Because of the small sniper rifle ammo pool and heavy ammo consumption, you won't be able to use it for very long, well unless you're infinite ammo modes, but there's generally enough in there to defeat that boss or blitz through an area of mobs. Up next, the Gargoyle, another pistol from the latest Borderlands 3 DLC that has an increased chance to drop from Dick and Goyle, another flying enemy who you fight around in this area of Bloodsun Canyon. The Gargoyle is a powerhouse pistol that can only come in Corrosive, which is a slight downside, but the damage it deals is enough to counter that. That damage is done in 3 stages: when the projectiles hit your target, then shortly after when they explode, and it will also spit an acid cloud at your enemies every so often, which is the biggest single piece of damage that it deals. It can come in ×1, ×2 or ×3 variants, with each of them consuming 2, 3 or 4 ammo respectively. It can rip through health bars extremely quickly, with armoured health bars melting away in very short spaces of time. That's thanks to its high fire rate. However, its rate of fire and ammo consumption of at least 2 ammo per shot are responsible for it running out of ammo quicker than most guns. When there is ammo in it though, this thing is a blast and it deals splash damage too. There's very little it can't handle, and it's always my go-to if I need to strip some tough armor. Last up we have the Backburner, an alien barreled launcher which can come in any element and can only be dropped by the Agonizer 9000 when fighting on Mayhem 6 or above. The Agonizer 9000 can be found here at the very end of the guts of Carnivora. The Backburner fires a single slow moving elemental orb that on contact produces a singularity that will sprout out smaller orbs which rain down and are responsible for its heavy damage. Each shot consumes 3 ammo, but definitely deals more than that worth of damage. The radius of each blast is also wide enough to kill multiple enemies, and because the bulk of its damage comes later, if you're Zane or Amara you can ensure you're moving fast so you can scale up its damage. It's great both when mobbing and bossing, and can always be counted on to speed up your farming runs and take that boss out extremely quickly. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of 10 great guns that'll help you out on Mayhem 10 at level 60. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.